obviously go to um, keep in touch with Wrestling with on our social medias for information on who we have coming up, links to those interviews, and so much more as well. Right. I like to start the show off with, it's a great day for wrestling, but it seems like it hasn't been a great day for United States, the world, or wrestling in general. So I will just say we are wrestling with the news. And speaking on not a great day for pro wrestling, WrestleMania in 2027, WrestleMania 43, I believe, yeah, will be in Saudi Arabia. Um, if you thought WWE could sell more out than they already have, they're like, hold my beer, bro. Um, yeah, a lot of people are already saying that this is going to be the most forgotten WrestleMania of all time, even more than 36. Which I mean is kind of reasonable considering that it's so it feels so out of reach, and it's not just when it comes to travel, but just where the world is right now with everything. Um, I don't need to say that we kind of live in dark, chaotic times, and it doesn't seem like that's easing up right now. Um, but Kaliko, you've gone to every WrestleMania yearly since 30. So, what are your thoughts on WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia?
Oh man, I don't know what to say because I really thought 27 would have been Nashville, especially the because I told you I was like I'm holding out for Nashville once that stadium gets built. But I guess money talks, bullshit walks, and honestly, one of I don't think it's not even. I don't think the fans it's going to be iffy because people already kind of feel priced out. And even though they're feel priced out, WWE is still making money hand over fist because of the simple fact that, they're doing fewer shows. So the shows that they do indeed feel means more, which, I get it. I get the business model. The only thing that I don't get when it comes to Mania in Saudi Arabia is going to be WrestleMania week. Um, that to most people is more, and over here I'm on a train. I'm in Irvine. But anyways, but what makes WrestleMania this motherfucker, and they're both speaking over each other, which is pretty cool. So when people say I'm not coming, but anyways, uh, so what makes WrestleMania more prestigious to me, or at least most WrestleMania fans, is the WrestleMania week, which is the week that you're in the city, you're of the city, and you're kind of getting to do the touristy parts along with some of the wrestling stuff. And I saw the body language. When I saw the press conference, I read the body language of not the men, but the women. And that tells you where everything's going to go. Because Saudi Arabia in itself, when it comes to the culture, is more of a dry culture. And I will only compare it to what I say, like, I've been to 10 of these, New Orleans twice, Northeast twice, Texas twice. Even in Texas, there was something to do to get drunk and get merry and get festive about the opportunity of WrestleMania coming up, right? Saudi Arabia is not really, it's there, but it's not going to be there as prevalent like it used to be. And when you're having a destination in a city where it's more restricted, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. I'll put it like this: the people in that area, it's gonna be a fucking ball. I'm not even gonna knock them. Congratulations, you get the opportunity to do what you want to do. But there is a group of people, literally, like 3 time zones over, and I'm looking at Paris, Italy, Britain, the UK, who felt like that they were going to get one, and that would have been a better destination when it comes to wrestling events. Because when you do these wrestling events, you want to do it in a city where people want to go to. Because when it's a destination city, it's not just the wrestling that's there that gets you there, it's the fact that they want to be there in the first place. Which is why we got New Orleans twice, which is why we got Texas twice, which is why Vegas is twice, which is like, keep in mind, the last 10 WrestleManias, we've gotten, I mean, not even that, go back to 29, from 29 up, Jersey twice, New Orleans twice, Texas twice. The only outlier is San Fran, because why? San Fran, everything is scattered. So I've been overseas in the Middle East. It's gonna be a tough sell to get people over there, because because now it's a culture where it's a little bit more restrictive and things are not gonna be as free flowing for the fans as it would in a UK, a Paris, a Mexico, Puerto Rico. You see what I'm saying? So
right.
the laws are going to be mad different, because now you're going from wet city to dry city. Saudi Arabia, they don't really drink like that. Like, they really don't. Like, the stadium is not selling alcohol. It's going to be the most sober WrestleMania. I'm dead ass serious. But, and, you know, money talks, bullshit walks. I was really, really hoping that Nashville would have been it. And I'm just going to tell people this. And I'm going to end with this. For everyone that was yelling and talking shit about Vince McMahon, the one good thing he knew that he was trying to get families to come, and he knew to be a man of his word when he would say that it's going to be at a certain spot. So, like Tampa, when Tampa happened and then COVID happened and it still happened in Florida, and he was like, fuck it, we're going to run it back in Tampa and then we'll push everything else out.
Right.
So, or he would price it to where a family of 4 can go, because as he knew, he was making money in the margins of, okay, the family's going, that means they're going to eat. That means they're going to have money for merch. They're going to have, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
If they're going to be in the city, they're going to be doing touristy things and stuff like that. The one thing that I will say that it gives an advantage for WrestleMania, the one thing that this does for WWE that gives it an advantage is that cities, now it's an international bidding versus a national bidding.
I don't even think that it's an international bidding, as you say.
It is. It will
It's
be. It will
it's
be.
it's
It will be,
more.
because that means Paris.
It's
I'm saying bidding, because Paris is going to want it. UK is going to want it. Australia is going to want it. This opened the can for international bidding. There's no longer it's no longer a national bid. It's no longer a U.S. bidding, because what's happening now is Saudi Arabia is getting Royal Rumble and WrestleMania in the same year.
No, 2026 is Royal Rumble. 27 is WrestleMania.
But oh yeah, you're right. But in those congregate years, and that's never happened. So now WWE is just doing package deals. Now they're just going to do package deals. Oh yeah, bid with us. We'll give you a WrestleMania. We'll give you this. We'll give you this.
Right.
I don't know.
So, for
But that's not
context,
going to stop cities from bidding. But
Saudi Arabia wanted WrestleMania in 2027 will be the 300th anniversary of the country of Saudi Arabia, and they wanted somebody to they wanted a special, a big event, obviously. And I don't remember who said it, but it was reported that Saudi Arabia gave WWE an obscene amount of money in order to have WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. So, I mean, there's a difference between, bidding, quote unquote, for a WrestleMania and just throwing as much money as you can at it just to get it. Um, I do think England is going to get it at some point, and I mean, they do kind of deserve one, more than, a Saudi Arabia does at this point. Um, they deserve to get it before Saudi Arabia. Um, but I don't think that this is a trend of we're going to see more international WrestleManias. Maybe we'll get a an England one at some point, but not like this. It's they drew a lot of money at them, and that's why it's happening. I don't
I
necessarily.
beg to disagree. I beg to disagree. And the reason I say that is because of the simple fact, and the only reason I say that is because of what happened this year with the New Orleans announcement and the fact that 2 months later that New Orleans announcement got pulled. So this tells me that it's not a WWE decision; it's a TKO decision.
Well, I mean, it's if another country throws an obscene amount of money at them, then yeah, they'll consider it. Obviously,
Oh no, no! This opens the floodgates. But because I'm gonna tell you right now, if if Mania 27 sells out, what what are the odds you think TKO is not taking that internationally?
I mean, let's talk about that. Do you think that WrestleMania in Saudi WrestleMania is actually going to sell out?
Yeah, but it's not going to be a lot of travelers. It's going to sell out with the people within that region. That's why it's there.
Is there enough people in the country of Saudi Arabia to actually attend WrestleMania? Like
Um,
60,
I
seventy
can see
thousand?
people coming from. I can see from. Yeah. Oh yeah. Saudi Arabia, Qatar. Yeah, they could. They will find bodies. You can bet your ass they will find bodies. That the problem was never the bodies because they're gonna get the bodies to make it happen. And at this point, WWE doesn't even care because they already got the money up front, and they're just gonna make it do what it do.
Exactly.
But that But but with that, but with this, it opens that market. Like that's what I'm saying. It opens that can of worms for the market. Because I'll put it this way: let's say they do a WrestleMania in Sydney, Australia. It will be Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia or Sydney.
I mean,
Pick.
I'd be more inclined to go to Sydney than Saudi.
Exactly. Saudi Arabia or Tokyo, Japan. Which one?
Tokyo,
Saudi Arabia, Paris, France.
France.
Saudi Arabia, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Oh, definitely Brazil.
Saudi Arabia, Mexico City.
Okay, the answer is always going to be the other country unless it's one of those countries that are going to be restrictive, like
And that's the point that that's the point that I'm making. So what is going to happen is either A, they're either eventually Nashville's going to get one. So Nashville's going to get one, Naptown's going to get one. It's a matter of when. So we know it's in the deal for New Orleans, it's in the deal for Indy, and it's in the deal for Nashville. So 3 of those years, they're going to have to do something with those 3 cities because those are 3 cities that they flaked on big time.
well, normally I would agree
Big
with you,
time.
and if we were in the Vince McMahon era, because this, like you said, I don't think that we would have gotten a WrestleMania in Saudi if Vince McMahon was still in charge. Um, but if that was, if Vince was in charge, yeah, we would have got WrestleMania in uh New Orleans. We would have got it in Nashville. But now I really feel like TKO, the way that they're running business, it's it's kind of up in the air, and they're super flaky, and they don't. It's so obvious how money hungry they are. It's not even funny. So I would agree with you that Nashville would have gotten a WrestleMania, but now that we're in this era of you know wherever the money is, I can't tell you if Nashville actually is gonna get a WrestleMania or not, because just because of where we are with the
No,
regime.
they're getting one.
I
The reason I think they're going to get one, they're going to give it to them in a package deal because there's there's 4 cities that I'm really looking at when it comes to this. One is Nashville because their stadium's in the process of getting built. 2, Indianapolis, paperwork saying that they're scheduled to get a mania.
mm-hmm.
3, New Orleans because they got hosed for one and they got promised one. And 4, Cleveland because here's the thing, Cleveland's building a new stadium in about 3 years. Those are the 4 cities it's going to tell me because those 4 cities, 3 of them are contractually obligated. One is a brand new stadium, and I know how WWE. I don't care who runs it. They love to be the first person to sell out a new stadium. Uh, those are the 4 cities that's going to intrigue me the most. And as I get the final call for San Juan Capistrano. Uh, but
Home of the Swallows.
but but as I'm saying, those are the cities I'm more intrigued the most because I think it's going to return to some normalcy. But now with that gate open, I would not be surprised TKO take it to Tokyo or Sydney or Paris or London or Puerto Rico or I mean because they're okay with follow because that is a UFC model as well. And UFC runs a lot of Middle Eastern, Europe.
Kaliko? kind of broke up there for a minute. Maybe the
I
train.
wish I did, because you hear this damn train.
Yeah, the train conductor is a part of this episode. He's our new co-host.
More
So,
than my son.
um, so I do think that this isn't good publicity for WWE. This isn't good for. I mean, obviously the money is good for them. You know, they're going to take that. But everything else, I think, is going to kind of backfire on them because they're spending like maybe 4 days in Saudi Arabia at this point. When it comes to the shows that they're doing, they come in on Thursday, they leave on Sunday because the show's usually a Saturday. Uh, and now to spend like the whole 2 weeks that WrestleMania is there from what um from Tuesday to Tuesday. Um, it seems like a lot of time, and if obviously there are going to be people that are going to make that travel. There are diehards. The green T-shirt guy will be there for sure. Um, but people that would traditionally go, not just the pricing, and we'll get to the pricing in a couple minutes. Um, but just the country. Like this is like doing WrestleMania in China or WrestleMania in Russia. It's a different culture, and if there were, you know, a floodgate of people that's going to come, like of the tens of thousands, that I think that they're expecting, but I don't think that they're actually going to get. Um, it's going to be too much for that country to actually maintain, and it's going to be too much for a culture shift for people to actually adhere to. You kind of understand what I mean?
Well, the thing is this: when it comes to those countries are more. They're not really party cities, so that's why I said it's going to be a hell of a week for them, because the wrestling is secondary to the party. You see what I'm saying?
And
As a person, as a person that's been to 10 of these things, that's been to a lot of WrestleManias, you like the WrestleMania, but the WrestleMania in itself, as a traveler, is there, but it's the reason you're even going to the city in the first place. So the city is going to supersede everything, because if I'm a person traveling, and as a person that's traveled to WrestleMania, I usually do a Tuesday to Tuesday. I usually do a week to week. And the reason I do that is because WrestleMania is 2 days. WrestleMania is going to take up Saturday and Sunday.
hmm
SmackDown's taking out. All right, cool. So WrestleMania is taking up Sunday and Saturday. Raw's taking Monday. NXT's taking Tuesday. Um, SmackDown's taking Friday. So that gives you Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to do all of the other touristy things, like going in the city, hanging out, drinking, eating, being merry with the people, uh, having wrestling friends that come around and y'all all hang out. And because the camaraderie of WrestleMania is the reason why WrestleMania is WrestleMania. As a person that's been to these, at this point, you get to the point where you look forward to seeing not only the wrestling, but the people that you see every year. And when you're usually around people, especially like younger, especially with people who have daughters, and that's what I'm looking at too, because Saudi Arabia, everything's closed, so they can't do what they usually do in the States. You see what I'm saying?
and not exactly a woman-friendly country either.
Exactly. So that's why when you saw Bianca and Charlotte, I'm looking like, bro, it's gonna be fucking helping out. I looked at him. I was like, bro, I feel for you because I could see it, right? Like a week. Now I don't think that they discussed of the people. I just think they're more discussed of the situation that they're going to be in,
Right.
and that's part. And for them, it's part of the gig. But for the fans, they're not gonna go. They're not gonna go. I've never seen no one go. Oh, yeah, I can't. Unless they're just one time. I every year.
So
They're better off putting this in Honolulu, to be quite honest.
the other,
But
oh, continue.
it it is what it is. I can't. But it is what it is, and
I mean,
it's just gonna make more families feel more priced out. It's gonna make more families feel cultured out more so than priced out.
right. And I will say, when it comes to the pricing, WrestleMania tickets from last year compared to this year went up from from anywhere between 5 to 8%. I can't imagine that price point isn't going to go up in a matter of a year. Um, I again, I'm not here telling you that I'm an expert on Saudi Arabia, but obviously a lot of locals will be attending WrestleMania. So, but are they going to even be
They will.
able to attend WrestleMania, considering how expensive it's going to be at that time? You know what I mean?
Oh no, I'm bet. I can bet your ass that the people that they're out the tickets and give them out because that's the other part too. Because there's a big wealth income gap in Saudi Arabia.
Right. There's
So
the
they're gonna make sure that like yeah, I can see them buy because if they have the money to put WWE there, they're gonna have the money to buy all the tickets and comp everybody. I don't that I'm not worried about.
that
I,
okay. That's insane, but
I'm not worried about that part.
I wouldn't put it past them.
It's insane, but but that is the lengths that they're willing to go. Because to be quite honest, between WrestleMania and the World Cup being over there in the Emirates, it it's the 300 thing is part of it, but it's also the part of this perception for the Middle East that they are a global player and that all is welcome there. If that makes sense.
Which and I'm not trying to get
Eve,
political on wrestling with, but
oh no no
it's
no no
kind of
no!
no,
It's not getting
it's kind of
it's not getting.
hilarious because literally one country over is Palestine and Jerusalem, and obviously they're not liking each other right now.
Right. Oh yeah, all of them. No, none of them liking each other. But that's the perception that they want to give. And I'm not saying that I'm not trying to get into the political either,
Yeah,
but that's the perception that they want to give, just to have it, just to have it. And at this point, I'm kind of like, what's the difference between TKO and FIFA? Because FIFA took it for the money too, and TKO took it for the money. So it's no different, to be quite honest. Canelo took it for the money. I mean, if we're going to be quite honest, they threw a gang of money at Canelo for him to fight over there, and he's fighting over there. So to me, it's not. I mean, at this point, the money talk, BS walks, and they got the money to push it out. But I do feel bad for the people like Nashville because that was the thing that was coming. New Orleans, you definitely feel shitty for them. Uh, it's gonna come back to the States, but I just think I've already seen a lot of posts from WrestleMania friends who are like, next year is the last one because I'm not going over there.
Right.
And why would you? Why why would me as an American go somewhere where my and that's like the political part of it. So
I mean, if this was like in
it blurs that.
Canada or Mexico, I feel like that would have been a little bit easier for people, a lot of people to go. Okay, well, it's maybe, it's not the states, but it's North America.
Oh, they would kill for Mexico. Mexico, the currency so cheap, bro. You would Mexico currency. I'd kill for it to go to Mexico. To be quite honest,
A whole other topic,
but
but continue.
oh no, I love Mexico. Like Mexico City. Oh man, it, Mexico City is literally New York City of Mexico at this point. But that's neither here nor there. Uh, it 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 disheartens me because I was so sold on Nashville, but guess we gotta wait.
Well, you know, uh, continuing with um this on the topic, obviously WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia is going to be a hard sell for international people. It's already rumored and discussed that they're trying to get The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels out of retirement in order to really get people, talking and wanting people to attend this event from an international standpoint. Um, so I mean, even if it's you know, whatever this WrestleMania, if they actually do achieve that, it's going to be the least limbo WrestleMania of all time. No,
I mean, they did ask for Yokozuna, so I mean, they are not on their wrestling. Like,
I mean he's a bit stiff at this point.
a bit is an understatement, my good sir. But it is what it is, though. I mean, I let them have it.
I mean,
They want they want to do it, and it is what it is. I I'm just indifferent at this point because I know this John Cena ain't gonna be there.
and you don't. I think that he would probably agree that it was the right time to retire.
Oh, he picked the right damn. He's like, shit, thank God.
Yeah. Oh,
And that's even another thing, because did you hear about that rumor?
so I would say this about the names. Stone Cold going to Saudi Arabia to do one more match, I feel is very unlikely at this point. If it's not in Nevada or Texas, his ass is his ass is not getting on a plane to go to wrestle. And for people that he doesn't, they're not necessarily even Stone Cold fans, and he's not going to sacrifice that pop for a payday. His wrestling, his reputation was always more important to him than anything else. So unless they pay him like $1 billion, I don't see where Stone Cold is going to come out of retirement to have a match in Saudi Arabia. Um, Undertaker, I think he would have done it, but I don't think that Undertaker has enough in the tank to actually pull off a match. I think that he's too beaten, battered, injured to actually compete in another match. The Rock, the Saudi Arabia has been clamoring for The Rock for quite some time. Like they have been wanting him, and I don't. And The Rock hasn't been at any Saudi Arabia shows up to this point. And I mean, and we could talk about it in a bit, but he doesn't necessarily look like he's ready to compete either. In the condition that he's in. I mean, he's not sick or anything, but he has dropped, a substantial amount of weight for a movie part. So, I I think it would be unlikely for him to come. And the only other option out of the four that I mentioned was Shawn Michaels. And I mean, I feel like if Triple H says, Shawn, put pants on, wrestle, he would probably do it. Depending on who he's wrestling. But that's my opinion. What say you?
I don't think so. I think Sean would be like, nah. Austin's definitely no, because he ended I mean, the money talks. I mean, we'll see how they go. I mean, Taker did and them. Oh no, but that was a Sydney show, wasn't it? When the Taker Shawn Triple H Kane match was in Saudi Arabia. So yeah, never mind. But then again, you have to just bank on the fact that they don't know that half of these people are dead, like the Junkyard Dog or Bam Bam Bigelow. Right. Because they're still thinking the 80s, and half of those cats are gone. They'll probably be like, hey, where's Hulk Hogan?
I'm so sorry to tell you.
So it is what they're going to try to push it. I don't think it's going to succeed. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Well, for the people in America and the rest of the world, it doesn't necessarily get better when it comes to pricing. Ben Shapiro, I don't know which Shapiro it was. Somebody else that works for TKO said that ticket prices for WWE shows will be going up in the coming years. Because they wanted to coincide with what UFC prices are.
UFC was doing. Yep.
And Vince primarily just priced for families, and that don't work for them, brother. So yeah, the corporation is showing their teeth at this point. So I mean, again, say what you will about Vince McMahon as, a person, or even, on the creative side of things. He never priced people out. There was always tickets that were manageable to be obtained. And, tickets are going through the roof. And these aren't even, after sales. These are literally from the company saying you have to pay this price. So you're either, I believe somebody said, you're either the super wealthy or somebody willing to go into debt to attend the WWE event, which is just not nice whatsoever. What say you?
It's, to be quite honest, this is a multi-pronged. And what I mean by that is it's the situation is way more complex. And I was listening to Busted Open this morning about it, and they were trying to do the comparisons of WWE versus an MLB game where there's more games. But the counter argument for that was that there were more house shows, right? So if I'm in San Diego and there's a show in LA and there's going to be a show in San Diego, which one would I go to? Obviously, the one in San Diego. A, because it's closer, and B, I could probably make something out of it because most of the time when they came to San Diego, it was a house show, right?
Right.
So what? The moment TKO got this and the Netflix deal came, I already knew it was the end of house shows because what they're doing is making the Raw and the SmackDowns premiere so that way people have to congregate to it. So it's kind of like they created demand on purpose because even though it's a weekly show, let's keep in mind. Prime example, let's just say LA. So let's say they did a Netflix show in LA. They would do a show in LA, a show in Bakersfield, a show in San Diego, a show in Irvine, a show in Anaheim. They would do the circuit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they got rid of the circuit, and now that makes thousands of people, millions of people from those counties having to compete to bid for that one show because you don't know when they're coming. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it that increases the demand, and that is what's pricing people out. The fact that if I'm in Charleston, South Carolina, they're only coming to Charleston. They're not doing the Beauforts or the Paris Islands or anything else. They're just doing that one area. And that is my one and only shot to do it. And the question is it willing for me to pay for family for to get there? And that is what's pricing families out. But the problem is for every family that gets priced out, there's like on the border, like, hey, I'm willing to go down and go. I'm willing to go. And I say all that to preface it to like, damn, as much as we gave Vince shit, he made it to where he understood the core audience. The core audience is never the adults. It's the children because the children are the ones who are looking up to these figures who are, wanting to see these guys and be these guys and do the merch and get the show. And I will never say SummerSlam because SummerSlam is an exemption. Everyone's going to go. But just go to the end of the last PLE at Money in the Bank, right? I want you to look at the front row of the ending of that main event. It was primarily kids. That was Vince's audience because they understood if they were willing to, if they wanted to go, the parents are going to make them happy to go. So when they go, of course, they're going to go to get the merch and get the food and and do all this other stuff. And I know this firsthand because when I went to my first WrestleMania, I bought 4 tickets. I spent $200 for 4 tickets. And that was WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan winning it, the streak ending, all of that shit. We were there, and I spent no less than $300 for 4 tickets, and that's 4 tickets to Mania. And I spent another $80 for the Raw the night after. So I mean, me going to these shows, I got to see a personal creep up of these prices. Now, granted, yes, they have been creeping up, but I say 40 was when it control. Because even 39, I got what? Two tickets for both nights, $600, which was like $150 a ticket. You'd be lucky to even get like High Five Jesus with that ticket, with that price.
Right. And it's still, but that
So
was 39 was still under Vince McMahon. He literally came back like maybe that week,
yeah,
the week of.
yeah. But what I'm saying is that like me looking at these price, like they're doing that because now the demand is higher because it's not like they're doing all these house shows. The only time they're doing house shows is if they're in Europe or if they're in like South America.
Right.
That's it. So those are the only chances you really got to see a house show, like a super show, like a Mexico City. They'll do like a Mexico City super show, or if they go overseas in Paris, they'll do a Venice, France, Belfast. You know what I'm saying? Like they will run that circuit because they're already there all week. It makes no sense for them not to.
Right.
But North America doesn't get the opportunities of that because of the Raw and the SmackDown, and they're making it super sparse, which is increasing the price and increasing demand. Or it increases demand and increases price. Because prime example, let me see, and this is full disclosure. I got a ticket on the floor for Money in the Bank for $600 per ticket. Just for Survivor Series at Echo Park in the same area, I had to pay $900 a ticket. Why? Because it's Echo Park, Survivor Series. Everybody named Mama's coming, and one, it's never been done in San Diego. So now they're doing all this thing where they're driving demand, and people are just wanting to be there to drive the price up. Prime example, just look up Boston, Massachusetts for Monday Night Raw.
Right.
John Cena's last Raw in Boston. That ticket price was like $1,000 for the nosebleeds because the assumption was that his last match was going to be there.
Right. And I'll get into that in a second. I feel like if this trend continues, it's not going. The people are not going to follow with it. I do think that people are going to drop off. Because UFC is not the same model as WWE. UFC is, I would say, a more glamorized sport in the sense of it's an attraction for one, maybe two matches. And it's the what's the word? It's the in fashion thing to do for the celebrities to come and actually be a part of and watch the show. But the real reason that they're there is to have them people see them at those shows, not actually be at those shows.
I beg to differ. As a person, I've been to both. UFC. Okay. Jesus Christ. So, anyways, UFC. As a person that I've been to both, UFC, you're going to UFC if you love the art of combat fighting. You're not going to UFC unless you really, 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 really love the UFC. UFC now is where boxing was 10 years ago, if that makes sense. Now, with that being said, even with the UFC being kind of for the love of the sport, I can make the argument that WWE has more household names than the UFC.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with that. But I would also
And
say
that,
that those households are not necessarily, um, high income households when it comes to, those
I
name
would, I would,
recognitions.
that is true. But the thing is that it's more. If I had to put my money on it, a family would be more likely to try to go to a WWE show than a UFC show. Hands down. Hands
Yes,
down. And
but a WWE ticket isn't going to be as desired as a UFC ticket because again, it's the glamorous, in vogue thing to do is to be at, those fights.
Thank
I I would try and give you an example of a UFC fighter that fights, but I couldn't necessarily tell you one. I mean, Ronda Rousey was obviously the big one back in the day.
She was the big one. Oh no, 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 no! And that's the thing. That's the thing with UFC. The UFC won't be a driver unless it's a big name. And I've been to a UFC where John Jones headed. I've been to a UFC where Nate Diaz is headed. I've been to a UFC where Holly Holm is headed. I've been to a UFC where Cyborg's headed. These names, they have to generate. Those are like once in a generation talents. And it's not like that they're ever vested in the mainstream conundrum. The exception was not Canelo, but the exception was John Jones and Ronda Rousey because they are like literally household names. They literally became household names because they fought in the way that they fought in the results of the fight. It wasn't like that is, even though they fight once a month, every now and then, I can make the argument that Seth Rollins is more known as a household name than John Jones because Seth Rollins is seen every week. And that accounts for something. Because UFC, as much as you're saying UFC is doing okay, UFC is actually really down right now because they're lacking that star power. Because when people think of UFC, they're thinking John Jones, Conor McGregor, and they're not fighting anymore. John Jones is retired. Conor, God knows what the hell he's going to do. So that's my point. Like, they're UFC, the card itself is drawn on the name of the fighter. Vice WWE, everyone knows what WWE is. And that is the counter argument.
Oh, back to like my original point is I do think that they're going to price people out from attending. I do think that people
Oh yeah,
are going to
I
decide
mean, it's
because,
already there.
And
Oh, the pricing out is already there. But what I will tell people is, as a person who's been going, if it's coming to your city, unless you see a deal, and I'm not like, I'm for people wanting to have a good time at these shows and get their bang for their buck. Depending on the show, hold out, because prime example, Survivor Series, they're wanting 4,000 to 5,000 for a ticket. You wait that out, see how it goes, especially if you're going by yourself. Wait it out and see if that price dropped. I've seen it happen. I've Money in the Bank. I wanted to sit at a certain section. It was $1,500 with tax. I held out until it got to like $500 or $600, and then I bid on it. So there's work. I will say this: don't, for those families, I don't want them to feel hopeless, or for those people that are wanting to take their kids. Because trust me, I got a son. I want to take him. He wants to be there. I want to take him, and I'm here to hopefully give you that hope that it can happen. There's just ways to work around it.
well, you mentioned it. John Cena's
The voice of the voiceless. Look at me.
John Cena, his last match will not take place in Boston, Massachusetts, his hometown. It will take place in Washington, D.C. And, TKO's greed kind of showing once again that they wanted, a destination where, cities would bid on it. But I kind of feel like that's kind of sucky for John. That it started in Boston. It should have ended in Boston, if I'm being completely honest. And now he has to.
Started in Chicago, but that's
I mean, if we're getting super technical, it started in Los Angeles, but
yeah. There we go. If we're gonna get technical, let's get to it. There we go. Brass tacks, baby.
but it. You wouldn't you have thought that John Cena would have at least some say in where his last match would be? And now he has
Well,
to, end his career in Washington. It kind of seems like like a raw deal for John and the people of Boston as well, that they don't get to see, the hometown guy, you know, have his last match. What it's going to be in Washington. Like, what connection to Washington does John Cena have, except that he did capital punishment against our troop? Hmm? So, yeah, that's, my thoughts on it. It's just what little fate, what little good good fate that TKO has with the fans right now. They're slowly killing it with these dumb decisions, in my opinion. Um, Obviously they're good decisions from a business standpoint, from what they. I don't even want to. I won't say business standpoint. From a money standpoint, it's a good decision. But from business standpoint, they're killing goodwill with their fans, and I feel like that's worth more. So, for John Cena not to have his final match in his home state, that kind of sucks. Um, and here Goldberg thought he got a raw deal with his with his final match, but I digress.
well, I mean, TKO botched that one because the rumor that was given amongst it was that they wanted it to be in Boston, but they wanted Boston to put up 7 mil.
Yeah,
And Boston being and I got, as much as Boston gets flack as a racist city, I get it. I will give them this credit because they were like, that is too much money to put up to get people to buy tickets for John Cena's final match when it's that close to Christmas.
right.
And they did not want to put the city or the people of the city in a bind to get John Cena tickets or their kids a Christmas gift. And I, for one, can respect that. I can't even. I respect it 1,010 millionth%.
You're even pricing out the
So
cities at this point.
well, no, TKO personally asked them for it. So it's not like a thing where it was like Boston said, hey, I want to bid on it and how much is going to cost. Because Vince, 99% of the time, would have gave it to Boston. I mean, they gave Trish's last match, well, supposed to be at the time, in Boston and Toronto. So I mean, they're willing to work with it. It's just that TKO just kind of got greedy, and that's just how it goes, I guess.
Um, which kind of brings us to Wrestlepalooza. It's next week. We'll be doing a full preview in just a bit. Um, but TKO, and I emphasize TKO, is gambling, betting that Wrestlepalooza will be on par with a WrestleMania, a Big Four, a SummerSlam. They want it to be their big they're like their calling card, their mark on pro wrestling that Wrestlepalooza was their WrestleMania, kind of, sorta. Uh, First and foremost, the name sucks ass. So, and Vince McMahon would never have done something called a Wrestlepalooza. What the fuck is a Wrestlepalooza? Huh.
I think that's from the Lollapalooza.
Yeah, but we could both agree that WrestleMania sounds a lot more prestigious than Wrestlepalooza. But
That is true.
and also keep in mind that Vince didn't like verbiage that associated with wrestling. Obviously, WrestleMania being the only exception to that rule. So a WrestlePalooza, this doesn't sound like something that a WWE would do. Um, and it kind of tells you how out of touch TKO is with what pro wrestling is, that they would even recommend or suggest a name like that. You know what I mean?
While that is true, I mean it's already here, it's already been named, and it's already happening. And the reason they're doing it is just, I mean, they're making it big because of the ESPN deal. If
Right.
it wasn't for that, it would. And and it's funny because like there was no PLEs planned in November and September, and all of a sudden we get this big motherfucking thing. So I mean,
Yeah, and two major matches. The return of Brock Lesnar from a 2 year absent, and AJ Lee from a 10 year absent. Um, like I said, you gotta have to build up the goodwill, and I don't see where the goodwill is there for a WrestlePalooza. Um, I mean, it could become bigger down the line, maybe, but I mean, I'm not going to be like in the next year. Oh my god, I have to go to WrestlePalooza. No, if I'm being low key, if the Worlds Collide or NXT came back, like yeah, I would jump on that. But
well, Worlds Collide was yesterday in Vegas, so that tells you.
right. Um, but a WrestlePalooza, yeah, I'm not going to get hyped for a WrestlePalooza. At least for a Big
I,
Four, anyway.
I mean, I get it. It's just it. I don't know. Like I told you, it's to make these things feel more. The shows feel more than what they are because it's far and few between. If I'm in Bonefuck, if I'm in like WWE just went to Chicago, if I'm in Gary, Indiana, and I know that they're not gonna come, and I have to go to Naptown, and that's my only time to see them, more than likely they're gonna take the Naptown, and that's what they're banking on. They're banking on the fact that it's so the events are so sparse that people are gonna go regardless because they're like, hey, my kid wants to go to this show. This is the only time I could go to this show. So I'm going to do whatever I can to go to this show.
Right.
Damn shame, but that's the game.
Somebody that's not wanted on shows is a one AJ Styles. Finally getting off of pricing and corporations and politics. AJ Styles cut a quote unquote in parentheses shoot promo during a commercial break on Netflix, where he kind of shot on that somebody in the back doesn't want him there, and they don't want him to succeed or win matches. I mean, it feels like a total walk. Um, it is worth noting that AJ Styles' contract is up in February, So we'll kind of see what happens there. But I don't know. What are
That's what
the
I was about to say. That's what I was about to say. He's on his last couple of years, right?
Yeah, his contract's up in February, and people are speculating that that could be it because apparently, before he signed the extension, and he did sign a contract extension with WWE. If you believe rumor and innuendo, he sent out feelers to other companies to kind of see, what's out there and how much they're willing to pay. Um,
Mm-hmm.
with I mean these last, and I'm being generous with saying 5 years, have not been kind to AJ Styles. Um,
5 years?
yeah, I mean, going back to Undertaker literally burying him, he was
He was a tag champion.
he was a tag champion, but he was losing to guys like Jey Uso, Matt Riddle. Um, I don't remember. There was a couple. I don't remember a match where AJ Styles actually won.
He was
Um,
an IC champion during COVID, right?
no, he wasn't. I would have to go back pretty far to see when was the last time AJ Styles actually won a match. So, I mean, he's in high profile matches, obviously, because he's AJ Styles. But when was the last time AJ Styles actually won a high profile match?
Mm, good question.
He beat he beat Finn Balor, El Grande Americano, recently. Um, trying to see here. Um, yeah, he lost to Logan Paul. He beat Karrion Cross, but that's not saying a lot. Oh, house show he did. He wrestled Gunther. That's interesting. But yeah,
Mm,
if you kind of go down the line, it's a lot of AJ Styles is losing.
good point. I mean, but AJ Styles is in that, I would say, is WWE career wise, he's where Warden is. A win or a loss doesn't define him because he's a two-time champion. He's a two-time WWE champion, a two-time WWE Intercontinental champion, the United States champion. Attack. He basically hit the Grand Slam within his first 2-3 years there.
I mean, true, but it doesn't. I don't know. It seems like he's not treated as well as he necessarily could be. But
It sounds like he's not happy.
if AJ Styles does leave in February, where would AJ Styles go?
I think he's done.
So just straight up retire.
Yeah. I mean, he's got enough money. I mean, he's made enough money. That money ain't gonna be the issue.
I mean, he even claimed. He even stated that he wasn't going to make it to 50. I mean, he's going to live past 50, but I mean, he wasn't going to continue wrestling um, at 50 years old. Um,
Right.
and he's currently 48. So next year, 49.
Is 49, and anybody that's gonna sign him is gonna want him more than a year.
I would even say that it would be less than a year because I don't know when his birthday is.
Um, isn't he a February baby?
Is he? June 2nd.
Oh, it's June. He's a June baby. There you go.
So you would probably say 6 months?
6 months at best.
Yeah. So, I mean, Then it, then maybe next year's WrestleMania, AJ Styles retires.
If he works through his extension, you have to work beyond the extension.
I, I mean that's a good question. I don't know. This seems odd because like his contract's coming up, and he's also coming up on the ending of his career, and it's just an odd situation if I'm being honest.
I mean, he's just at a point where the ball is in his court, and he doesn't really have to play ball by anybody's means.
I mean, true. I mean, I could maybe possibly see him doing something with New Japan to do a Tokyo Dome main event and ending it, possibly. I don't see him like really going to like an AEW. I mean, there's a possibility of a TNA match, I would say. But
I
I
mean,
don't
they
think.
did give him the TNA Homecoming, but even then, that was more to push somebody. So I honestly, I think he's just gone. He's just gonna fade to black. I mean, there's nothing else he needs to prove.
I mean, true.
IWGP champion, TNA champion, WWE champion. He's done everything.
Very true.
Like,
Um,
if anything, he's doing it for the love of the game at that point.
from somebody that's done everything to somebody that's done nothing. Wardlow. He made his return to AEW TV at the Forbidden Door event. And he already got injured. Um, something I think it was a pectoral tear, literally on that show. Um, he was out for maybe a year with injury and shooting a movie as well. So there was a lot of time he was off. Is it just not in the cards for Warlow, or is it maybe time to say for Warlow to kind of pack it up and try something different?
I think it's just timing. I, I don't think it's going to be the end of him, per se.
I mean, he's on the older side.
I
Um,
mean, they're all on the other side, but in their 40s is really their prime when you think.
but that's for somebody that's been wrestling for maybe 10 plus years, more than 10 plus years.
No, because Drew's been wrestling for damn near 20. He's in his prime. AJ's tail. AJ's 48, and we're yelling like it's the end, even though his prime was like 39 to 40.
Right. But I mean, that's for people that's been doing it a really long time. Wardlow hasn't been doing it for that long. And
But I mean, I guess I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I guess so. But I don't think that he's not necessarily somebody you can rely on if he keeps getting injured. If he's injury prone, then it's not necessarily going to work for him.
So you're saying if he's injury prone, it's going wrong?
Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Um, and it comes at a really bad time where he could have done something, considering Osprey's going to be out for the foreseeable future. Swerve Strickland is out for the foreseeable future. And MJF is going to be out for a couple of months. Not because of injury, but because he's going to be filming a movie. Uh, I can't imagine that that's not going to worry a Tony Khan at this point. Because MJF has been doing quite a few movies as of late. Um,
True.
and, I don't blame him. I mean, it's easier on the body to act than, do pro wrestling. And
Ask John Cena.
exactly. And I mean, the more acting roles he does, the less we have to see him in pro wrestling. So I'm kind of for it as well. Um, but I can't deny that he's a big star for AEW. Um, it's not a good time for Tony Khan, honestly, because you just lost three of your biggest stars in the span of maybe a month, and you don't have a lot of pull when it comes to attracting people. Am I wrong on that, or no?
He's got a whole treasure chest of misfit toys he can pull out and make a new star. Or at least that's what I would think. Right? What's the point of having a stacked up roster if you can't shuffle your deck?
I disagree with that. And I mean, they lost Chris Jericho too. They're losing Chris Jericho. Um, it if the Osprey and Swerve were their biggest stars, even above who they have, and I'm sorry, but not a lot of people are buying a ticket to see Hangman Page. Uh, you have to
But they still got Tony Storm.
Very true. You need somebody to buy. You need an attraction. You need a reason for people to buy a ticket. And if you don't have a reason for people to buy a ticket, then why are they coming to your show? And AEW is really. I mean, they've already downsized their arenas because they can't sell out, the big estate arenas anymore. So, at some point it becomes a major problem.
Well, I mean, they got Tony. They got Tony Storm, which is going to be that's their person, Tony Storm. Um, Personally, I like Harley Cameron. That girl has been funny as shit. I ain't gonna lie. I think that's the one girl that's got me watching like all the AEW clips from YouTube and Instagram and shit.
But is Harley Cameron making you want to buy a ticket?
If they come, sure. If they come and she's there, why not? But obviously, time with Tony Storm. But that's why they went back to Hangman. Day one, A1. Now the question is, they don't have anybody to be formidable against Hangman to make him feel like it's a 50-50 match. That's the problem.
And we will talk more about that when we get to our preview of All Out or All In. Is it All Out? It's All Out.
All Out, All In, Double or Nothing. Very Vegas. Not to be in Vegas.
Alright, that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.